Welcome back to the Graphite Curve Studio. This is a piece that actually scared me. Not because of the scope or the size, because I'm afraid that working on this drawing would validate my feelings. At first, when I started out, it was no big deal. We've drawn pictures like this in the studio space before, but as I got started, there was this sense of unease. Where once this was a picture about anger, now it's become about expressing that anger and giving it somewhere to go. This is another project where it's a combination of two pictures. One of a woman screaming, and the other of a woman squeezing her breasts, which I can't show because of YouTube. Sorry. As an artist, I don't have a problem with nudity, but we have to follow the rules. The background was a solid color, and I tried to make it cloudy and strange. While working on the background, I got a migraine, and that ended day 1 early. Day 2, I recorded voice lines for another YouTube channel. Then I worked on more of the background, and my shoulder began to feel funny. I know that this usually leads to injury, so I stopped early and did something else. I guess I should explain why this drawing is about anger, and what led to this creation. You see, my parents are pack rats. They love to hold on to things long past their usefulness. They don't get rid of things because they might need it someday. And ever since my dad passed away, we've been cleaning out my mom's house. It started with doing yard work as a way to cope with the loss. And for a year, we worked on making it look nice. The three of us. Together. But once that year of mourning was done, it was time to get to work. I started this channel exactly a year after my dad had passed. This is how I chose to spend my life, making art for others to enjoy. But most people don't understand YouTube, especially older people. This will someday be my career, but some just see it as a hobby that's getting in the way of something I should be doing. But now that you know of pack rats and yard work, I can tell you about the main reason I was angry. It started a week before this drawing was created. My mom's the kind of person that will complain about anything, and in doing that, she told her sister that no one was helping her with the yard work, which is not true. I'm working on 2 YouTube channels, and my sister finally got a full-time job, so there isn't much time for yard work anymore. Anyways, they scheduled a time to work, but when they came, it wasn't great for those who needed to work. While inside working on editing, video ideas, and YouTube-y stuff, my sister's dog would bark at them, working outside, which would scare us working on the inside. She would whine because she needed to use the bathroom, but couldn't, because they were working outside. I would take her outside to the front yard to go, but she would come back and bark at them through the window, and whine because it was closed. This went on for hours. Not only that, but they came back another day, and did it again. It was miserable inside, and we hardly got any work done. The funniest part of all of this is when the yard work was over, a rainstorm came, the one that I was talking about in Rushing Beauty. And wouldn't you know it, it made everything grow back. The part that annoyed me and angered me the most was that they weren't supposed to be helping with the yard work at all. What they were supposed to do was haul away 3 washing machines that were sitting in the garage. Apparently my dad thought that one day he would fix them or something. And that is where we actually needed help. Cleaning the garage, not the yard. 2 days of barking and frustration just so that it could all grow back. And that's what drove me crazy. Because next, my mom would hit something with the lawnmower and bend the blade, meaning I had to remove and replace the blade. This would lead to an entire day of us trying to get the right blade because an employee at the store talked us into buying the wrong blade. Then we took it back. I found the right one online, site to store, then put it all back together. This was a whole day gone there too. I sketched out this drawing 4 weeks ago and spent 2 of them doing something for other people. Never tell people 2 things: what you are doing and when your day off is. They will plan stuff for you to do that day, and it'll feel like you never have a day off. I was asked to change the wheels on a garden cart for my mother. For whatever reason, yard work is the most important thing to her. I believe it's because it helps her deal with the loss of my dad. But because of the garage being full of washing machines, I have to work in the middle of the yard. Which brings us back to the main reason I was angry. If my extended family would have hauled away the washing machines, like we asked, everything would be on pace to be cleaned this year. But they didn't. They decided to waste time cleaning up something was just going to grow back. I feel like my whole life is about spinning plates. Like if you were busy spinning your own plate, and someone handed you another, and then another. Then one starts to wobble, so you give it some attention. And once it's stabilized, 3 more are slowing down and wobbling. Sometimes I think about letting them all fall and picking up the pieces later, but some of these come with financial penalties. For those wondering, it's nothing huge or serious. It's just a lot of little things. Like fixing cars that are old, so you keep them running, but since the pandemic there's nowhere to go, so they just sit there and break down, so you fix them, and it starts over. They aren't old enough to be valuable, and not new enough to be desirable. Same thing for old lawn equipment, wheelbarrows, lawnmowers. And that's how I came up with this drawing of a woman who is all at once stressed, confused, angry, and scared. Scared because this drawing externally validates my internal state of mind. She is naked and exposed, even forcing the viewer to see her vulva. Because this is how forceful the past few weeks have been. I want her to be shocking. Because that's how it felt for me to accept that I get angry. I'm so used to denying that I'm angry, something that I think I picked up from my dad. That expressing it was kind of freeing. But the events that caused it came and went. But here we are, left with this drawing. Working on it was like when a friend keeps bringing up that one time you messed up, even though you're over it, but that's like the only way they can relate to you. I'm proud of finally expressing myself. I don't know why this idea came to me. I've always wanted to draw a woman screaming at the viewer. Annoyed, angry, fearful. I worked it out. Unlike the picture and the situation, I made it bigger than it needed to be. This probably should have been a sketch for the sketchbook, and I spent too long thinking about the things that make me angry. It did get hard to work when people came into the studio and asked, why is she ugly? Why is she holding her boobs? Why is she like that? This made me more annoyed and more angry. And because of that, I decided to stop here. I feel like I've grown as an artist and an individual. Next week we'll be back to pretty girls. But for now, I'm tired. Thank you for watching. Take care, and God bless.